Good morning, Randomania! It's me, Woat. Joined today by my good buddy who I've never commentated before, but we'll be good friends by the end of this. Drum roll, please.
Hey, I'm Tyrannix.
And we have an early morning installment of the Final Fantasy Randomizer spring tournament here for you. Or summer tournament, one of the two. Demerine versus Bismark in a match of the 1-in-1s. I actually expect this is going to be a very close race. Both of these runners I've seen before, and they're both pretty solid. Got a forced white mage, and it looks like both of our runners decided to go with a fighter and two red mages as their secondaries. What are you thinking about this setup here, Tyrannix?
Yeah, this is usually the exact same party makeup that I like to use if it's a white mage force. Basically, if I get the choice, I like fighter, two red mages, white mage. Reasoning, I want a fighter. I want a white mage because I don't want to get locked out of the white magic, and it's usually nice to have two people who can cast black magic. So given, I like the party for both of them.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of the red mage, so I'm always in favor of more red magic. But yeah, now this is definitely a strong setup. Hopefully the black magic shops will cooperate, but it's hard for the red mage to be locked completely out of decent black magic.
Yeah, he gets access to well over half of the black magic, and with the shuffle, he's probably gonna find, at just about every level something useful. And honestly, like the magic that he would get locked out of in levels 6, 7, and 8, a lot of times we don't get the levels to get those charges anyways. Or at least enough charges to make them truly useful.
Yeah, level 6 is the one that tends to sting the most at the levels that runners tend to get up to, just because, you get just enough charges to where if there's something good there, you could have taken advantage of it, but not enough for it to matter.
Yeah, I'd say it's a risk well worth taking. And we're starting.
Yep. Bismarck immediately swapping around. I'm sure Demerine won't be too far behind. Let's see. Black Magic Shop looks like it has for us just Brack, really. But White Magic is packing that Harm 4 and that Cure 4.
I believe red mages can learn both of those.
Yeah, I think those are the two red mage slots. So, this is not the worst setup out the gate. And that low-level Brack, it's not very helpful for AoE purposes, but it is helpful for clearing out some nasty stuff.
The 1 gold rapier should be able to get them. I mean, the Brack should be able to get them through Garland. It's probably going to be a tough run to get to wherever they have to get to next, depending on if they get a canoe early or not. That would be my only worry, is not having the AoE magic for that run to Elfland, but, having 1 gold rapiers on 3 red mages should be able to get you through.
Yeah. The rapier is always a helpful thing to see in Corneria, just because that will carry you pretty far. Demerine did not move her white mage to the back of her party, and I think she just noticed that.
Interesting that she put a red mage on top.
Now she may be contemplating danning one of them, since the low-level spells are not looking good so far. Or it may just be a decision that, looks like she did wind up swapping her fighter around, but either way, we got a crown and we've got a bridge.
Oh, this means that something's going to be stuck in a chest in the world. Whenever Sarah gives you an item that is not required to beat the game, that means a item. I mean, there's a chance that it's the tail, but more than likely, a required item is going to be in a chest in the world.
Yeah, now what's interesting, though, is that Demerine did not bother to check the TOFR chests, which would have already paid off with that ice sword, but there is also the possibility that this is a ship TNT setup. with the floater being somewhere that you cannot access without opening the canal. And if that's the case, I know I've seen the ship or TNT in one of these chests more than a couple of times.
Yeah, there's going to be 5 chests that she's not going to check here with Temple of Fiends. Oh, and it looks like Bismarck. He either wiped or...
Yeah, the bones kind of ripped him up.
That.
Yeah.
Looks like Demerine's going straight for Provoca. I'm going to miss Matoya for now. I don't hate that, but the chances that she... I mean, I think her best case scenario is there's going to be a canoe here and then a floater in Sages.
Yeah, that's what I think most runners who start with the bridge kind of anticipate or hope for. What I think is...
Ooh, these bones have death touch.
Yeah, there's a reason he had to reset out and is probably about to have to do it again. So she may have made the wiser move in just getting in and getting out of Temple of Fiends without having some sort of a sweeper ability. And wow, Bane and Lit 2 are our only options at second level.
Pretty expensive, Lightning 2 also. Oh, but Fade.
Oh, there's the Fade. Never mind.
Okay, let's go.
The downside for Demerine, though, is she hasn't really stopped to fight anything, so she may be in a bit of a gold crunch at the moment. By which I mean she is. She's only got 50-something gold to her name, but... You know, she does have that brack at her disposal, and does pull a single ogre right away. And it looks like Bismarck pretty much decided to just grab that ice sword and then get out, before getting into another bone fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good encounter for Demerine to get. I mean, she could have got something like a huge gray wolf and wolf pack or something like that, but, you know, she'll be able to get the Fade charge here and be able to take care of these pirates pretty easy.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things. Yeah, she's got the one shot of Fade. She's got Sleep on her side. So, you know, even with the unsafe pirates flag turned off, this is still not going to be anything. And she'll probably pick up level 3 here for her trouble. Yeah, Bismarck has cleared his Garland, and he's... I wonder if he's going to also go ahead and just head straight to Provoke, or if he's going to double back and visit the dwarves first while he's in the neighborhood.
We have the canoe. That means I would make the next move to go for the Sages. Even Ice Cave is a possibility, but she's way too low level right now to make that play.
Yeah, I'm sure she's currently thinking... She might even be contemplating hitting the Peninsula power-up depending on how save items play out.
These reasonably priced cabins.
Yeah. Yeah, Bismarck goes ahead and checks the dwarf cave, just finds a silver helmet, and just resets back, so... He's probably also going to make the trip to Provoke, although he might split off to go check Matoya. It seems like he's more eager to dive chests early on, just because I would assume the low item density.
Yeah, he saved right there at that crossroads, so it looks like he's just gonna grab it and see if anything's there. We got Demerine headed out.
Ooh,
really low
unrunnable.
If we got a nasty river setup, this could be tough.
I always just assume that the river setup's going to be tough. The river just always sucks. That is my expectation. Will Cleos is in chat speculating on whether or not this is a ship TNT seed. It is looking at least more likely. We already had the bridge displace one of our key items, and at this point we're already down to Ice Cave and Sage for being where our floaters could be. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to be in either location.
We didn't see any access to any kind of early exit or warp magic. Possibility it could be at level 3 or 4, but I don't see them taking a route to Elfland just to check those magic shops. I think the play here is see if it's the floaters at Sages. If it's not at Sages, then grab some levels here in this area and then make a play for... I mean, you're going to have a lot of fade charges, so making a play towards the Ice Cave, it's going to be a tough one, but especially if it's a nasty one, but it's a possible play.
Yeah, depending on how the river encounters are, I might be tempted to dip Volcano, at least get the top floor, just because, again, we haven't really seen much in the way of armor, and especially in Demerine's case, she hasn't even seen that ice sword.
It looks like Bismarck didn't pick up a fade charge before, but I mean, with safe pirates and the rapier, he should be able to get through this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I doubt that Bismarck's going to have any issues. So Demerine making a beeline for those sages, she is really hoping she's going to see that floater.
And it's a slab.
Yeah, that is pretty much the opposite of floating. Big, heavy rock. So buckle in, folks. We are going to be paying a visit to the Ice Cave very soon. Ooh, that's a longsword there in Crescent Lake.
I would guess that the play is probably going to need some levels here at least. Could maybe get the levels on the way to... Oh, she didn't want that fight. Is she going straight for the Ice Cave right now?
She may be going straight for Elfland to see what's at 3rd and 4th level. Or she may be... No, she's going straight to... let's see where she's turning. She is stopping... Okay, she's going for Volcano. But she's had to stop and consider whether she wanted to just go ahead and go for Ice Cave. So, yeah, she is going to opt to dip Volcano. Probably not go all the way to carry, but at least dig out Armory. Hopefully find something that'll make the Ice Cave a little less painful.
Ooh, and she reset out of that one.
Unrunnable Hydras are very rarely fun. I know I played a seed recently that had unrunnable Hydras with Trance.
Looks like she's choosing for Elfland this time.
Yeah, with the river being full of trouble, it looks like that's not, I think, the worst idea. At the very least, knowing what Elfland has to offer can't hurt.
Temper, Fire 3, expensive Fire 3.
And Ice 2, which, you know, they're pricey, but very helpful to have on hand for diving those dungeons.
Oh, there's Exit, and
yeah.
All 3 of them should be able to learn that, and has the Cure 3. That's going to be good for her.
Yeah, no, this seed is being very generous right now to people rolling Red Mage. It looks like Demerine's going to go ahead and do a little bit of gold farming before even looking in the 4th level shops.
We got Bismarck up here in the Peninsula of Power. I don't hate that. He's gonna get some good levels out of this, and you know he's gonna have the money to buy. You get a lot of money down with these fights, so he should be able to get what he needs.
Yeah, like both plays I think have their merits, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how it shakes out once he kind of catches up to her. The real question, I guess, is if he's going to head over to Elfland before dipping into the dungeons, or if he's going to take those levels and those fade charges and go, this is good enough, let's go ahead and dig out whatever's down here.
I think, at least me, I would be not knowing anything. Ooh, these giants have cremate.
Yeah, that is unpleasant.
going back to your last point, I think being about level 8 or 9 with a lot of fake charges, I would think to go just straight for the ice cave, but oh, I know. Oh, he makes it through. That's going to be a lot of nice levels on that.
Oh yeah, the fighter's going to be stacked. It's just everyone else. But, you know, if you gotta have all of your XP get dumped onto one character, you can do worse than your fighter.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad at all. He should be able to walk it out to provoke get rezzed up. But yeah, going back to your previous point, I think, you know, him being level 8 and 9, that he's going to feel safe going to the ice cave. I would feel safe going to the ice cave with that many fade charges. Although that we know that that trip to Elfland to buy exit would probably be a time saver move.
It looks like Demerine.
But that's something that he can't know at this point.
Yeah. It looks like Demerine didn't even bother looking at anything besides the third level magic shops in Elfland. She's heading right back to the eastern part of the southern continent. Now, I'm assuming she's going to go ahead and make for Ice Cave now that she's got that exit in tow, but she still may opt to go ahead and make that volcano trip. So, let's see what she's going to do here. I mean, besides stock up on supplies, because she is likely anticipating whichever way she goes is going to be rough with the limited AoE she's got at her disposal. Like, float is good, and having 3 people able to cast float is good, but, you know, it's nice when you don't have all of your AoE in just one spell level.
Yeah, I think the ice is the right play, because if the floater's not at the ice cave, that means, you know, we have to start full clearing everything, looking for that ship in TNT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't hate the idea of full clearing everything anyway, just because you already have that. Like, most players already go ahead and full clear Volcano. Looks like Demerine might have gotten a little bit lost there.
Ooh.
But, okay, yeah, this river is not very
Damage
happy.
poison on the Caribs.
Damage poison on the Caribs. The Hydras are unrunnable and beefy. And, oh, Demerine, that's not the right way!
Ooh.
And yes, I know you're going to hear
Take
me
the
say that on the VOD later. But that wasn't the right way!
Bismarck here made it to Crescent Lake. He's going to find him a slab. He's going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Question, chat, if Matoya was checked, Bismarck did pop up there. I think all we found was a heal potion and some money, though. And Bismarck finally making it down to Crescent Lake. He's going to pick up his slab and probably make something similar to the call Demarine's made.
Okay, let's check out this ice cave here, see if there's anything nasty in there. Looks like she's got the encounter table figured out how to get a good run at the beginning. This is quite the run to begin with.
Oh, yeah. Unrunnable sorcerers, though, less fun. Although they're much less dangerous with the script shuffle on just because they don't have their script anymore.
It's they have really nice EXP also.
But Poison Touch.
Poison Touch.
So, never mind.
It only has one more pure potion left. Something I didn't see if that she picked up the. I assume that she picked up the exit spell.
Oh yeah, no, she farmed up and at least got it on a couple of characters, I think. And something's got glare. I didn't quite catch what it was before I saw the dead body.
I was looking at chat. I didn't see what happened there.
Buckle it, everyone. This is going to be a long morning.
If the floater's not here, we're in for a long one. Looks like Bismarck's doing some more leveling.
Which, we now know, not the worst idea in the world. That M defense may come in handy.
It's like the tortoise and the hare right now. But the tortoise won that race.
Yeah, I mean, that is the constant tension in these races is, you know, you gotta go fast, but you also need to build up enough to be able to survive whatever the seed throws at you.
And we know that the ice cave is proving to be a nasty place right now. But you have to make this play, I think, because a lot of people full clear Volcano, but there is some obscure out-of-the-way chests in Volcano that, especially in the armory floor, that some people don't check. This just could be one of those seeds where if, say, like, the loot is here in Ice Cave, that a ship or TNT could be in a hard-to-reach chest. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things. I would still feel like the Volcano, I don't know. With the river being as unfriendly as it is, I definitely think the Ice Cave is the right move. I think the folks in chat making that point are absolutely correct. If the river were a little nicer, though, I would be tempted to hit Volcano first just because, you know, you have a good chance of getting some casting items out of the armory, or at least some better equipment to deal with the crap Ice Cave can throw at you.
You know, and I just remembered that because Sarah had the bridge, that means a key item, there's a very, very good chance a key item is just in a chest anyway. So they're probably in full clear mode anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you know that one of these chests has a key item in it. You didn't exactly start out with a lot of decent gear. Demerine is just going to skip that upper left-hand chest.
Okay, we'll see if that, I think she can't get back to there when she teleports up, and looks like skipping these chests here and the early two chests in the Ice Cave.
Now, I mean, it makes sense. She's trying to conserve her resources, and frost dragons can sometimes be really rude. Now, chat pointing out that, Demerine is just going to go for it. It looks, and there's, okay, so it's the Wraiths that have the glare.
Ouch. Oh, and they have crack. Oh my goodness.
Oh, God!
Well, I can see now why she's going straight for that. I mean, we have not seen that incentivized chest yet.
And Bismarck is about to find out that he may not have leveled enough.
And no amount of levels can stop the instant death spell with no ribbons.
I mean, M defense can help some with the instant deaths, but...
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's the reason why even if you X for Chaos, you still only have a 5% chance of being able to take him out with an instant death spell, because his M defense is still ludicrously high. It's one of those things, I don't think they can level high enough, or would want to level high enough to be able to, you know, just bowl through this cave using M defense, but...
It's like Demerine lost her fighter early here.
That's unsurprising. Like, your best chance, I would think, would almost be to see if there's a spot in the encounter table where those wraiths aren't. Because there's one thing.
The glares.
Yeah, that is one thing to keep in mind with these flags is encounter rate, I believe, is also shuffled. Or not encounter rate, but what encounters you're seeing is also shuffled.
Does Bismarck take a look at the ice cave and say, nope, I don't want to get this?
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. So he's more than likely going to check out the volcano right now. He does have a couple houses.
Yeah, and I just double checked. So yeah, the only the thing to keep in mind is with the Swiss flags, you do have your encounter frequency shuffled. So one thing that something nasty like this you could try to do is see if there is a spot in the encounter table where you're not seeing those wraith fights. Because I think outside of the wraiths, this ice cave isn't too bad. It's just that the wraiths. Oh no,
wizards! Oh goodness. Okay.
Did wizards get ambush shuffled onto them?
Yeah, wizards had ambush and wrecked the two mages. And it looks like she's noping out of there right now.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is it doesn't look like there is that safe bubble in the encounter table where none of the nasty encounters are.
Yeah, we got Bismarck checking out the armory here.
The real irony of all of this is going to be when Ice Cave just has the tail.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is in the back of my mind, at least, I would be thinking my opponent jumped in there, grabbed the floater, and then now is zooming across the world, and I'm 15 minutes behind.
I mean, that is a distinct possibility, but you also have to sit there and go...
There's a ribbon in the armory.
There's a ribbon, so both of our runners will at least feel more emboldened to make that trip back to Ice Cave. Oh, and there's some ice armor. And some silver armor. I think you can slap that on your on a red mage.
Yes, you can.
So yeah, that's helpful.
Got Demerine right behind.
Yeah, the problem with that Bane sword find, though, is no one can actually equip it, so all it's good for now is casting Bane, which isn't terrible, but I think at this stage, I would rather be able to swing it than cast from it. Bright side, though, is both of their fighters are going to come out of the volcano pretty well geared.
Yeah, and Bismarck has a pretty good level lead right now. I think he's hitting like level 13, where Demerine's around level 8 right now.
And Demerine just checking that cluster of chests in the armory and heading out.
Yeah, grabbed the ribbon and got out of there. And we got Bismarck on the full clear plan. If there's something in one of these two out of the way chests, then that's gonna be it's gonna feel bad for Demerine.
Yeah, I think it is a safe gamble, though. Now you've got some equipment you can use to keep alive. Oh, was that sleep and trance peds? Those are sleep and trance peds.
They got that through a ribbon?
Well, it can happen.
Yeah, there's about a 1%. Oh, poison. I don't know if that was damage poison.
Well, folks, if you enjoy the ped grind, I'm sorry. That's probably not happening this seed.
We had one of them mercifully run away.
And he manages to fade the last two. Good God in heaven. Oh, do those peds have X fur? Or is Edge just making a joke? Okay,
who rolled this?
Split Punch in chat saying that this is a Nora seed. Our restreamer Narastra rolled this. And even commented about the fact that he was rolling this. And he rolled it. But yeah, Split Punched in chat saying that trance is one of the abilities that just ignores ribbons.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense. That's right. I think trance is non-elemental, and if an attack doesn't have an element, ribbons don't do anything. Ribbons can't help you against non-elemental attacks.
Bismarck's just getting a lot of encounters here.
I don't don't think he's found anything, though, for all of the trouble he's been through. Except another ribbon!
There's
Oh,
another
God!
ribbon.
This could be bad news for Demerine, just because now he can at least get 2 of his characters through that ice cave, possibly.
Let's see where he goes. If he goes right back into Volcano, or if he chooses to go to the ice cave now. Ice cave is the play. If the floater's in the ice cave, then you gotta feel like you always have to make the play to the highest percentage play to get the floater as soon as possible.
Absolutely, especially with the rivers being the way they are. Like, even, yeah. I mean,
it looks like he's going to Crescent to resurrect his other red mage.
That's not a terrible play. You want everything you've got for this ice cave, and with 2 ribbons on hand. So I guess the question in my mind is, do you stick that second ribbon on one of your red mages, or do you put it on your fighter?
I would say at this point in the game, the red mages, because of their AoE. But let's see if this ice cave dive number 2 goes any better for Demerine. It should. I mean, the chances of her just getting completely wiped now that she has a ribbon is less. And has a couple more levels now.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue on her end is going to be if something nasty happens, having to get through the rest of this cave with just her white mage.
Yeah, because we haven't seen any life spells, have we?
Nope. There might have been one sitting in the level 4 shop, but Demerine didn't go over to that side of Elfland. And
level 4 yet.
I don't even know if anyone poked into the level 6 magic shops. I don't think I saw either of them do that.
I don't think I did either. Demerine straight down.
Yeah, she probably isn't even going to stop for the free chest, because I think there might have been a cure potion in the free chest on the way through the middle floor in Ice Cave here. But yeah, the less time she spends in Ice Cave, the happier she's going to be. Yeah, and there you see, she's already got enough levels to where she can at least resist the glare sometimes.
Okay. And we do know Bismarck does not have the exit spell. Well, look, she's going to get these chests.
Ooh, a rune sword and an ice shield. That right there, that probably made it worth it. Rune sword is one of those weapons that I don't mind seeing. It's got enough oomph on it to where it can definitely help out.
Yeah. Just making quick work of these frost wolves.
All for some cloth. Yeah, the rune sword's got a couple of damage bonuses against certain types of enemies. It's got it's got a reasonably high attack and hit rate. It's by no means a bad sword, especially pre-class change.
A black shirt.
And a lot of gold. Alright, we're about to come to the moment of truth.
Ooh, Age of Shield.
Yeah. For the checks she's made, these have not been bad. She does have that exit spell too, so she's probably going to opt to. Ooh, that looks like a pretty fragile eye.
And
vanilla floater. She might opt to. Oh no, she's just leaving. She does not want to risk that Wraith encounter on the off step.
I want to remind the viewers that we did start with Sarah having the bridge. So one of these chests could have, say that top left chest there could say have the bottle or something in it. So that could, we could be going back to the ice cave.
Yeah, but it's much better to have to go back when you're higher level. You have the airship, so you can just fly there instead of having to deal with this river.
There's only 730 gold in there.
Yeah. We still also do have the 2 chests behind the frost dragons that could still have something as well. I think those are the only chests that Demerine skipped. So where do you think she's going to go once she's got that floater in hand? Or that airship in hand? Because she
probably Sarda. See if you get a tail. Go to your class change.
Yeah. It is one of those things. She does not know about how nasty Peds are this seed. Ooh. And Bismark getting wrecked by these frost dragons. Manages to at least get through the fight. He may be contemplating checking these chests and resetting, or possibly... Oh, he doesn't have exit! Alright, he is...
Hero run time.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Bismark, what are you doing? You have just a white mage. Oh god.
Sarda had the rod.
Vanilla Ice Cave, Vanilla Sarda. This is interesting.
Might be just checking these chests just to see that if he doesn't have to check them the next time around.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fair point if he feels like he's going to have to reset out. And he is noping out of the ice cave again.
Okay, this is gonna give Demerine a pretty strong lead right now.
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely not going to help Bismarck out. I wonder if he's thinking of going to Elfland to see if one of those escape spells is there. Or is he possibly considering the dreaded marsh cave dive in case the floater is why it got shuffled to the chests?
It's possible. I don't have a ton of experience on these kind of, Sarah having the bridge seeds. Actually, my race yesterday, Sarah had the ship, but the item that we were looking for was not. It was key locked, but it was in Corneria, so we both got access to it pretty easily.
I forgot that they had the crown. So it looks like Demerine's play is going to be to go ahead and do the crown quest and see what she can find.
Bismarck. Wishing he had a floater right now.
Well, considering the way the river is, taking the southern swamp is not a bad play. And I see we have some FF4 Free Enterprise fans in chat right now.
Yeah. We can take on Zeromus right now.
Oh, absolutely. How do we get to the moon?
I'm not sure. So it does look like Bismarck is going to Elfland, gonna buy some spells. He's gonna see the exit, fire 3. Gonna have plenty of gold for all of that.
Probably be glad.
And we might get to see what the level 4 is.
Yeah, I assume that with the levels he's got, he can actually take advantage of those level 4 spells. So he's at least going to take a look. Demerine using that exit spell to save some steps.
Defense sword?
Not bad at all, especially
always
considering...
want to see that.
Oh, yeah. And that airship's going to make
At
shaky.
level 4. I didn't see level 4 white magic. Life 2? Okay. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, Demarine's definitely going to want to make that trip to
Ooh,
the
tail for 16,000.
Ooh. Now that's something in Demarine's favor, having picked up that high gold chest. But she needs to remember she hasn't checked most of the shops in Elfland.
That is correct. And that what that also means is that there's going to be a progression item in a random chest somewhere in the world. Because that tail, I mean, it could have been the tail that was in a random chest.
But yeah, that is absolutely right. With the tail in that merchant location, our random chest item is progression. Now, we might find it here in the Dwarf Cave just because that's how these things like to go, but I'm getting the feeling that this may be one of those seeds.
One of those seeds. I'm starting to feel that way also.
So here's the real question. Mermaids or Marsh Cave?
I don't think Will's in chat. Oh, he is. So I think it's a mermaid dive.
Alright, well, I'm feeling like this is a Marsh Cave seed. And not even the fun part of Marsh Cave, like that middle key-locked chest. Where it's just extra inconvenient.
Nothing too exciting in Canaria, just a big bunch of money. It's always nice.
Alright, so the only key... So I think all Demarine's got left in terms of key-locked chests that are not a pain to get to is Temple of Fiends. But she is not heading that way. So she is leaving Elfland behind, and that may play to Bismarck. It may get Bismarck back in this, because there's no telling when she's going to get over there and remember that she hasn't done Elfland.
Yeah, and the Life 2 spell was level 4 magic. He's going to have Fade Life, the exit spell now. He should be able to get through this fairly easily.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, not easily. This place is nasty, but... Brilliant and insane. Second floor of Mirage will have the cube. Some money in the Cardia Island so far.
Yeah, the bright side is whatever's in that random chest... oh, there's our TNT. Whatever's in that random chest can't be the crown, because we already have that. If it's the bottle, that does lock out Sea Shrine from the hunt. If it's the cube, that locks out Sky Castle.
Correct.
But if it's that loot, oh boy.
Could be anywhere.
This is going to be a long one if it's the loot.
This is interesting. Just to let people know, right now, we know that we do not know the locations of the loot, the bottle, and the cube, but there's only 2 incentive locations that we don't know. So it's somewhere, one of those 3 items, and all 3 of those items are required to beat the game, is in a random chest somewhere.
Yeah, so Demerine making the ordeals play, and I like this. You can pick up a few levels along the way. You don't have to double dip the on-rack area. If it does turn out that the bottle is the one that's going to stymie us. And this does get one of those incentive locations out of the way. I imagine that she is hoping to find the loot here. Because the other 2, as I pointed out, do cut off a lot of chest locations.
Exactly. And there's no out of the... I mean, I think it is 8 chests in here. They aren't out of the way. You'll be able to get all of them, and you'll be able to narrow down. You know, if you can't find the cube, then you know Well, that would leave the first 2 levels of Mirage, but
Yeah, but that is not bad to have to deal with. Like, the second floor is a little bit of a pain, but you're probably going to check that anyway. Question in chat, are the columns randomized? They are indeed randomized.
they are randomized. In vanilla, I believe that you only had to take the bottom one every single time, and you could just get straight through the maze. That's not the case here.
Mm-hmm.
Bismarck skipping chests, but he's been there. Oh, the race with the glares. But he has the life 2 charges now. He can get through this. Oh, Demerine just tore through that maze.
Yeah, that's the thing, is sometimes you can get luckier.
Oh, the race had thunder as well? Oh, no.
Poor Bismarck.
Oh, there's a white shirt for Demerine.
Yeah, that's gonna probably get slapped right on her white mage. Once she gets the tail, I keep forgetting. Okay.
There's the loop.
So that's good news for our runners, because one of the 2 later dungeons is not going to have that key item. Of course, the downside is that means that the Marsh Cave is still on the table. And no one wants to go to Marsh Cave.
It's never fun to go to Waterfall without getting the bottle done first, but, you know, I think at this point that's the next play. You just got to narrow down if the bottle has, if the robot has the bottle or the cube, because then that'll tell you where to go next.
Yeah. And the other thing to keep in mind, though, is Demerine, well, yeah, she is unaware still that the tail is the merchant item. Because again...
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, she didn't even go to the west side of Elfland. So she's presumably hoping to see the cube and the bottle here in the on-rack area.
Settle in, we got a log one.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is whatever's here, you know, all that does is cut off one dungeon from consideration, but that's still a lot of game to go through. No one's dug the lower part of Volcano. No one's touched Earth Cave yet. Marsh Cave absolutely hasn't been touched. I don't even think we've gone near the swamp it's in. There's a lot of game where whatever item's outstanding can be, but...
We haven't checked Keylock Topher.
Ooh, that is true. We haven't seen what's there. Yeah, so... it really can be anywhere, and that is unfortunate, especially because I feel like both runners are going to wind up feeling behind in this one.
Of course, yeah, I would feel behind as well.
Yeah, I imagine Bismarck absolutely feels behind, and Demerine making those multiple trips, making that trip to Elfland, I don't know. She's got to be feeling pretty behind, too, at this point.
Well, Bismarck has made it. He's going to grab his floater. He's exiting right out.
Yeah, and neither of them is going to probably need to go back to Ice Cave. Demerine, if she starts getting tilted looking for this item, may wind up back in Ice Cave, since she did skip 3 chests.
That is correct. See, it's going to be hard for me to keep track of who's skipped what chest along the way. Well, I believe that we've seen all the chests in the Ice Cave. I think even the Frost Dragon Oop, the cube.
Yeah, that reduces our chances of seeing the mermaids on this run to almost nil. Ooh, there's a sun sword, though.
No mermaids will.
Demerine opting to go ahead and take a couple of fights here in the waterfall.
I'm always scared that cockatrices have. I mean, I know it's from vanilla, but I'm always scared of them.
I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, where they do actually wind up being able to stone characters.
Yeah, DDs. We know right now that the bottle is in... It can be literally anywhere except the sea shrine.
And if it isn't the sea shrine, then we get to yell at the devs.
Yes. Bismarck picking up his rod. So, wonder what the next play for Demerine will be. I think maybe Volcano.
Volcano is definitely on the table, I feel like. It's a dungeon you know that you can handle. Well, she believes she can handle. She doesn't know that the Peds are Status Effect City, USA. Let's see, I'm trying to think of where else you might be tempted to go. Earth Cave is on the table. I can't imagine anyone's going to pick Earth Cave over Volcano, though. Volcano's got more chests that are relatively easy to get to. Go ahead.
Check the level 5 spells there, Bismarck. I believe he didn't check those spells. Demerine here is checking out the Oasis. Probably is thinking, oh, did I check out Elfland?
Well, she's going to go check Gaia, and then after Gaia, hopefully it clicks in her head that she must have missed an item shop. And Elfland, I assume, is going to be her first suspect.
Yeah, I mean, this is the play right now because she doesn't know it's the tail. I bet her fingers are crossed right now that the the bottle is the actual vendor item.
Yeah.
Because then that would mean that the tail's hidden and she wouldn't have to full clear the world looking for that.
It looks like she is heading straight to Elfland. It must have clicked in her head that that's the most likely item shop that she skipped. So this will be good for her. She's going to get that life too. She's going to get that fairly cheap tail.
We have Bismarck completed his class change and getting the Cardia items done. Demerine has about a 2 dungeon lead right now.
I'd say it's probably more like a dungeon lead. You know, Ordeals and Waterfall are both relatively quick checks.
That is true, yes.
You know, the walk to them may kind of make up for some of the lack of internal issue, but it is definitely a situation where, you know...
I like Will's idea, checking the first 2 floors of Mirage, or even doing the entire... Bismarck has the levels to do all of Mirage, I would think.
He has the levels.
A ton of chests in there.
And the spell charges are there. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily would feel ready for Mirage yet, but I'm also bad. Mirage and Sky.
Oh, it looks like Demerine's taking the Earthplay route.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't hate the idea of dipping some of the less chest-rich dungeons that you can just go ahead and clear. Because you can check the chests along the way. You know, if there's nothing in them, then you still get an orb out of the deal. You're still making forward progress.
Correct.
That would be my one concern with dipping Mirage and Sky is, you first have to make that commitment to walk to Lefane, and then, if you turn up nothing and you're not ready for the higher levels of the dungeons, you're just out time at that point.
Let's get some ideas from chat. Where would you like to see this bottle? Like the most trolliest place you could think it would be? Obviously, Keylocked Marsh is probably the most trolliest place it could be, but
again, the middle room of Keylocked Marsh, because no one's ever going to check that one first.
maybe in the Fire Dragon room?
Or it could be right here in the Earth Cave.
Okay, this is great for Demerine.
Yeah, the other thing is, that's nice for Demerine on this front is, Bismarck is probably not going to make that Earth play. I mean, he might surprise us, but Earth Cave is generally not a play most runners are going to make up front.
Yeah, I would agree. I have Bismarck here on the right-hand side, checking all of his keylock chests.
Yeah, that is something I forgot Demerine has also already done, is go ahead and get that key and check all of these chests. So, she definitely has a lead right now. Bismarck has a level advantage. Although, if she takes the right fights here in Earth Cave, she may be able to close that gap. Because I don't think it's a substantial enough one to where she can't close it with a few good battles.
The only sword that we've seen him note so far is the defense sword, so...
we have seen the Sun Sword too, and...
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, the Sun Sword, it's not the best sword, but it's definitely in the category of swords, like, if that's the only weapon I have going into the end game, I'm not going to necessarily feel that it's impossible. It's definitely probably the weakest of the swords that, you know, I would be willing to take into the end game, but it's definitely not the worst thing to find.
I believe Temper was level 3 as well, so, you know, you can make anything good with enough Temper charges.
Yeah, and chat pointing out that, you know, it is the best sword for non-promoted classes, and that is also a very true thing. Tail being where it is, though, you know, it definitely is not the best, but again, it is definitely a good sword to have in hand. Also, we just had our cameo appearance by Vampire. Don't worry, folks, he'll be back.
Alright, level 5 white magic is Wall in Biz 2.
Yeah, no, that... not hating that at all.
Demerine checking these top floor 4 chests.
Yeah, and there's Quad X and Quake, although it looks like Bismarck's just going to grab the Quad X and go.
I tend to skip this room because I always forget where the trap tiles are in that room. I think that room has about 4 trap tiles on it.
Yeah, it does. I finally have at least learned not to walk to the front of the 2 chests on the right, and I'm still working on remembering not to just stay behind the chests on the left, although that bat sometimes makes that not worth the trouble.
Right.
So it looks like Bismarck is going to opt to check Waterfall before Ordeals. Which is going to play out in his favor a little bit, because it's also going to go ahead and rule out Sea Shrine for where that chest-locked item can be.
I don't think we saw anything too nasty in Waterfall.
I don't recall seeing anything either, and I think they've got some good run spaces in the dungeons with the encounter table. Just to elaborate a little bit while we have a moment on what Chad is talking about. Yeah, for the Swiss flags, the only incentivized items are the tail and the absolutely essential items for progression. So, the canoe, the floater, the slab, the cube, the lute, the rod, the crown, and the bottle. So, because the number of NPCs that can give you incentivized items, plus the 2 incentivized chests, plus the merchant item, work out to being the same number as the incentivized items. Non-incentivized items, aside from the bridge or the TNT or the ship,
Correct.
are not going to be in the pool. And the only reason that those 3 can be in the pool and cause this displacement like we're seeing is because what the flag actually says is items required for progression are incentivized. So if the seed rolls in such a way where the bridge, the TNT, or the ship is required for progression, they can be rolled into the incentive pool.
And that's what we got here. Sarah had the bridge, so that the bridge gave us the progression to get to Provoca, and Provoca had the canoe.
Yeah, so the bridge became part of the required item pool, and so that's why we wound up where we are. And Demerine checking out the remains of the item shop.
Or was that the... Yeah, that was the item shop. I also know that their clinic, that silly vampire destroyed their clinic as well.
Yeah. But while we were talking about the incentive pool, Demerine did take down her Lich fight. We would have given it more attention, but frankly, she probably didn't even give it that much attention. Lich 1 is kind of a joke.
Off the face of the earth.
But yeah, so...
We'll see Lich again in about 30 minutes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of the nasty stuff's already kind of off the table, so most of these dungeons should not be too bad. It's going to depend on how much swimming around for items.
Demerine. I think reset too quick after saving there and didn't actually get the save in before resetting.
Well, fortunately, she saved after that trip to Earth Cave.
That would have been a tilter.
Yeah. So she is probably not going to be seeing that second ribbon here on the second floor of Volcano.
Bismarck picking up his chime, which tells me he's thinking about full clearing Mirage and Sky Temple, which has a ton of chest density. It's probably the play I would think to make.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and that's what folks are saying in chat, is it's, you can pick up experience on the way, it's got a lot of chests to check. Demerine going ahead and scouting out the Agama, possibly thinking about picking up some levels. And they're at least fragile, although we don't know what they're packing. And yeah, that is exactly what Bismarck's going to do. There's still enough stuff on the table where I don't think this is a bad idea.
Oh no, I mean, I think honestly, knowing that a progression item's in a chest, I mean, this is probably the place with the highest density. It's a pro cape, a ton of gold.
It doesn't look like much else here on the first floor. Bismarck does take a moment to tamper the chest before leaving. Ooh, there's an ice sword. Yeah, at this point, Demerine's in pretty good shape in terms of damage output for this point in the seed.
Yeah.
I am curious, though, why she hasn't gone ahead and gotten that class change. It may just be she's trying to route that in.
Oh, there's the game changer. Actually, the tail is in Elfland. I don't think she ever went to that item shop.
She saw the tail, and I'm pretty sure I saw her pick it up. She had the gold for it. Next time she item menus, we can see. But I know she did go back to Elfland and check those shops. Mirage Tower, aside from some gold and I actually remember what else we found so far.
Oh, she did. Yeah, you are correct. She did buy the tail.
Yeah. And she's going to skip out on the red dragon chest. She knows that the best it could have is maybe like adamant or Mazend. The odds are against that.
Ooh.
Oh, what did Carrie do to that red mage? I was looking at chat.
Don't know if that was a one shot or a death touch. Did about, but just nuked it off the face of the earth.
And here's your friendly reminder, folks, that the squares after the fiends are not safe.
A Bismarck now in the Sky Castle.
And I imagine we're going to see Demerine check at least these chests as well when she gets here.
Yeah,
they're not too hard to check.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're not too hard to check. You can pick up a couple of fights on the way. Yeah, she's now 2 orbs up while Bismarck is still digging. And granted, he's going to be able to get through Earth Cave a little bit quicker, but you were saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think this is kind of a lead that multiplies itself. Because he's going to be full clearing everything. And, I mean, I know that she probably wants to, obviously find a better sword for her fighter. But, I would assume, she's not going to go for anything too out of the way. Just grab the high density items. And, if we have Bismarck full clearing this, let's say, well, I mean, I think he's going to find, he might go to, he has checked the entire armory of the volcano, so he knows that he just needs to check, I think that's the 4th or the 5th floor of volcano. He found dragon armor.
Always nice to see. Because dragon armor's got that high absorb, but it also brings that elemental resistance to the table.
Power staff, which always confuses me to think that it's an item that you can actually use.
Yeah.
It sounds like an item that you can use, but... Oh, it looks like I'm having some trouble with my stream. Take over for a second.
Alrighty. So yeah, we've got Demerine heading back to her airship while Bismarck is actually checking what, I like to call the spider floor after hearing other people call it the spider floor. And this is the one where you've got a couple of chests in each spoke. You kind of want to have warp for this, but if you're in Bismarck's shoes, you know that item you need is still somewhere. You're just going to check it no matter what. I doubt we're going to see Demerine check this, even if she decides to clear out chests in Sky Castle, just because they're all so out of the way. And she does have the Vorpal and Sun Sword at this point, so, you know, she's got weapons that can carry you through the end game. I don't think we've seen Fast anywhere, so, you know, she's got that working against her. Welcome back. So it's one of those things. She's probably not going to check this spider floor, the floor that Bismarck's on, but I imagine she'll probably check most of the other chests.
I would agree.
The Vorpal is considered to be, well, the Vorpal is a divisive sword in the community. There are those who consider it to be one of the best weapons to take into the end game, and there are those that argue it's probably third or fourth best weapon to take into the end game. And if that sounds like I said the same thing, it's because I did, but when have Holy Wars ever had sense to them?
I tend to be on the, it's probably the third or fourth best sword to take to the end game, but I don't get too decisive about it on either end. I'm perfectly happy having it on my red mage. If you have a power gauntlet or a temper, or saber charge, there's an opal bracelet for Bismarck. It's a perfectly fine sword. It has the highest crit in the game, I believe, over 70% crit.
60%.
Okay.
It and the katana are have the two best crit rates in the game, I believe.
So if you have the Vorpal and you have access to buff yourself up, it can be a really great sword. But just as a base sword, not buffed up, it's probably top 5 sword on the bottom end of the top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. If you have a Vorpal in hand and you're not one of those people who throws it away, because there are people who do that.
For the memes.
Shoutouts to Fuzzy Mage. You know, it's one of those things. You can make it through the end game with a Vorpal in hand. So, yeah, and there's Demerine picking up her dragon armor. She's probably not going to find that opal bracelet. Like I said, I can't see her hitting the spider floor up. Just because she has everything she needs to finish the game, and she's got enough decent equipment. Like,
yeah, the Vorpal is also Red Wizard equipable.
And shoutouts to Randomizer2 for their throwing your radar away.
Yeah, welcome everyone. We've had a fun one so far. You know, Sarah having the bridge is always means we're gonna have shenanigans.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and throw us a quick recap, Tyrannic, since we are past the hour mark and both players are just kind of chest checking right now?
Well, I believe I didn't write everything down, but Sarah had the bridge as the incentivized item for her. I believe King had the crown, Provoca the canoe. The pirates had the canoe. Both runners had quite a difficult time with the ice cave. The ice cave did have the floater, but the ice cave was a very, very nasty place. And Demerine was able to get through and got her floater, I'd say about 10 minutes ahead of Bismarck. And that lead is pretty worked itself out. Demerine did find, because Sarah had the bridge, that meant that progression item was in a random chest, and she has already found that. She made a play for the first floor of the Earth Cave, and that one of those chests had the bottle. So she is in. She has everything required to beat the game right now, where Bismarck is not gone to the Earth Cave yet and still searching every chest in the game right now trying to find it.
Yeah, he also hasn't been to Ordeals, so while they are in the same dungeon at the moment, Demerine has progressed the game a bit farther than Bismarck and has done a little bit more beyond that even. If this is your first time checking out the Final Fantasy Randomizer, then welcome. I apologize if some of this stuff doesn't make sense to you. But this is basically the Final Fantasy you know and love, and get those praise RNGs in chat, everyone, because we are on the bridge of destiny.
This hero runs through 75% of it.
Well, yes, but when does Demerine ever do anything that we want her to do? Can't even get into a fight with Warmech. God. Never mind.
You
Good
spoke
job,
too
Demerine.
soon.
She's going to run away from it, unfortunately, but we at least got to see Warmech for a minute there. And we now know that Lit 2 is off the table for the Temple of Fiends Revisited, or at least one of the Lit 2s. But yeah, so if you're wondering what's been randomized here, the answer is a lot. Basically, whether or not you can run from stuff has been shifted. And go ahead and get more praise RNGs in chat because Bismarck is now going to cross the bridge. The ability to run from enemies has been shuffled around. What abilities enemies has been shuffled around. What stats they have has been shuffled around. Where items can be found has been shuffled around. Which spells are available to be cast has been shuffled around. A few other things
Pillars
that can be shuffled around. Yeah, Pillars and Ordeals have been shuffled around. So it is definitely a different game than what you're used to. You know, for example, being able to just pepper Tiamat with Nuke. That's a difference, I'm sure.
Having level 2 Fade.
But yeah, those nukes and fades clear out Tiamat pretty easily. And Demerine is in a pretty good position level-wise once she gets done with Kraken. Which I imagine she is going to just beeline to Kraken, maybe check Sharknado Room and a couple other chests on the way.
Looks like Bismarck right behind doing the Kraken fight. I mean, sorry, Tiamat. Now we have Demerine doing her class change.
Yeah, so the real question, I think, is where Bismarck's going once he's done with Tiamat. He hasn't found the bottle yet, so Sea Shrine's off the table. He hasn't done Ordeals, so that's still on the table. And then Fire and Earth Caves are still options. Shailesia asking where the Vorpal Sword was. That was in 4th floor volcano, 5th floor volcano, whichever floor the Agama grind is on. And I believe it was at one of the crossroad chests. You know, one of those chests that you have to pass even if you don't do the side branches. So Bismarck is very likely to pick up that unless he just... Basically, unless he hits Earth Cave first and decides he is in go mode for Volcano.
Looks like the choice is Ordeals. I mean, it makes sense for him. You know, he's going to find the loot, we know that.
Yeah, he has to come here no matter what. And as you pointed out earlier, every chest in Ordeals is pretty easy to check. Demerine, meanwhile, heading to her final dungeon, going ahead and burning off an encounter so that she can get that nice long walk at the beginning. And Bismarck now hitting this maze. Now, Demerine, if I recall, did find the correct path pretty quickly, so I imagine Bismarck's not going to have too much trouble either.
Or just reset out.
Yeah. It's one of those things I was actually checking earlier. I know that a fix was developed for the soft lock that used to happen here regarding the pillars and overflowing the stack. I don't know if it is implemented in the version of the randomizer we're using for this tournament. I think it is.
Ooh.
But if any of the developers are in chat and wishes to correct me on that, they're welcome
I
to.
believe you are correct. I believe that the soft lock for the teleporters is fixed.
And Will Cleosis is affirming that. So, as well as a few other guys. So yeah, that is something very useful to bear in mind. It used to be that if you took too many pillars, you could wind up soft locking your game, pulling up the menu. But the developers figured out how to basically shuffle around how the game is thinking of what pillars you've taken. So, all fixed now. And Demerine may be skipping Sharknado Room. She stepped to the right before this encounter. Okay, never mind. She just misstepped. To answer DD Gaming's question, yes, the soft lock used to be when you hit 30 or so pillars. Basically, what the game was doing was pushing the last place you've warped to the stack. Basically just meaning there was a buffer in memory that held, the coordinates of the last location you were at. And the stack only can hold about 30 of those. And once it overflowed, it started writing to places it didn't need to be writing, if I understood correctly. And so what the developers did is basically get the game to check and see if the stack was full before pushing to it. And if it was full, they basically just said, okay, then you just knock the last thing out and keep going. I believe that's how the fix worked. It's been a little bit since they did that.
Bismarck got his loot and got out of the castle ordeals with not much difficulty. Demerine did pick up a Thor's hammer in the Sharknado room. It's always nice to have for the white mage to give her some AoE.
Yeah, having a little bit of extra AoE never hurts, especially a spell like Lit 2, which not a lot of things resist. And both our runners apparently team Steak this morning.
That makes me sad.
Hell, you're just gonna have
Tyros
to
are for hugs.
Oh. So it looks like Demerine gearing up to fight Kraken 1, which we've already seen in this tournament. Kraken 1 can be not a gimme. Those tentacles
one shot.
like to give hugs. They like to give very, very mean hugs.
We have Bismarck here in Volcano. It's not going to take him he's already checked the armory floors. Only needs to check, I think this is the Gamma room floor for chests. And, he will see if there's anything interesting in the Red Dragon chest.
Yeah.
But I assume that Earth Cave would be his next play. I mean, I can't see him doing anything crazy like going to Marsh before that.
Yeah, and that dragon armor doing work for Demerine as her fighter basically takes 2 Kraken hugs straight to the face and just goes, oh, I'm in so much pain right now.
It's the second time she's got a fight after a fiend. That always scares me to death when it happens.
Yeah, but, makes it through it without too much difficulty, gets her red mage back on her feet, and Demerine has all 4 orbs lit. Now, it's one of those things, between the unrunnables we've seen so far and the stuff we've seen on enemies so far, what are you anticipating out of this Temple of Fiends Revisited?
I think a Gatekeeper might be nasty because we saw the Lightning 2 out of the War Mech, so that means, when you see a Lightning 2 from one of the Gatekeepers, that's usually a pretty free round. So there's a pretty good chance. There's the Vorpal for Bismarck over there.
And
shout out to Shalasia.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, it's looking like all of our better than Vorpal swords are not really on the table this seed. Like, I imagine Demerine will still check the validation chests after Phantom, but other than that, I can't imagine we're going to see much in the way of dipping into chests on either side. Especially not Demerine, and Bismarck is unlikely to check anything once he finds that bottle.
Looks like we have Demerine ready to go. The hour 23 mark. That's a really nice time for, this kind of a seed.
Yeah, considering what Ice Cave looked like and the work that had to go into getting the floater, this is not a bad time at all, especially also having to dig for that bottle. And, it's one of those things, it's only this way because Demerine did make that Earth Cave play, which...
Yeah, that put her light years ahead.
Yeah, that is something that we're going to need to remember to ask her about after everything's said and done.
Bismarck checked the Red Dragon chest. I did not see if there was anything exciting in there.
Now, I'm not seeing Adamant or Mazza light up, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that, unless there was a power bonk, and I'm sure our tracker, the Hangry Canuck, who has been doing a wonderful job of keeping us up to date on what our runners are finding, can let us know one way or another if it was something interesting. That being said, while I'm kind of calling folks out, shout-outs to our restreamer, Nerastra, who dragged himself out of bed for this early morning race. And shouts to our runners who decided to put us through this.
Nothing too exciting in the validation chests.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure to give everyone involved with this a follow because, folks are working hard. It's early in the morning. I don't recall. I think the only Gamma that we saw prior to kind of Bismarck just now didn't even get an attack off on Demerine, so I unfortunately was not looking to see if a Gammas had Poison Touch.
And we have Bismarck, not going to the Earth Cave.
He's probably... Where is he going?
Maybe...
Oh, he's going to go check key-locked Topher.
Okay, that's a place that Demerine has not gone. Demerine is on the Earth floor right now. Temple of Fiends Revisited. Ooh, gets first strike on a green Medusa pack. That always feels great.
Oh yeah, no, these are good enemies to attack because they tend to be fairly fragile, and they're worth a decent chunk of change when it comes to XP. Oh, hey, there's that ship! So, if that floater had not been in Ice Cave, that would have been having to do the Crown Quest on foot, and then come back to Topher to make your escape from the southern continent. I just want that to sink in.
My race yesterday had, it was a ship TNT, and we had to get our TNT out of Keylock Topher, which was the last place both of us checked.
Well, yeah, it's the last place you're going to check aside from Marsh Cave.
Oh, we both did Marsh Cave first.
Well, you're both idiots then. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's true.
You're already right by Topher when you check Corderia.
Yes,
Just
I agree with you. Lich 2, no problem for Demerine. And Bismarck's going to be a happy man here in a couple minutes. Well, probably it's going to facepalm a little bit, but...
Well, it's one of those things, I imagine he already felt behind from the Ice Cave thing, so this is not going to make him feel worse. If anything, it might make him feel a little bit better because, he doesn't know that Demerine made that Earth Cave play first. He does know he's checked every other chest he has access to, but...
Yeah, now he's in full go mode.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tornado on carry, but doesn't drop anyone.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Demerine is in a slightly dicier position than Bismarck with regard to Topher. She only has the one ribbon. And she only has the dragon armor Aegis combo for her knight. I didn't even see if she picked up pro rings for everyone. So it's one of those things. Her defenses are not going to be as hardy as Bismarck's. Yeah, so for those of you who are unaware, the dragon armor gives you protection from fire, lightning, and ice, while the Aegis shield, I believe, protects from paralysis or from stone poison, and then the pro ring protects you from death element effects. There are 8 elements total in the game, but we'll wait for Kraken 2. Kraken 2 is usually the first gatekeeper. And it does look like we do not have ready access to fast. Ooh, and he's going to lead off with Blaze. But Demerine already halfway to having her knight be untouchable. And just going to go ahead and start laying in with those nuke charges. But down goes the white mage. And that's not a lot of damage out of the Vorpal sword. But Fade carries the day, and I think she does have Life 2 on her Wisdom. So, yeah. Life 2. Best healing spell in the game.
That is very true. Onto the air floor here. See if Tiamat2 has any... Ooh, air ambush.
Yeah, the big problem with that Vorpal sword, though, is the lack of fast means you're not getting as many swings as you'd like. And Vorpal is much stronger the more swings you get, just because that's the higher crit chance coming into play.
Looks like we're going for Brack strats on Tiamat2.
Well, sometimes you just have to Brack.
And one-shots him. That's...
Oh, that's beautiful.
On we go.
You realize, of course, that means that Bismarck's going to get, like, double nucleared and nuked, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, assuming that he sees it out, which I hope he does, just because, you know, it's always nice to see runners kind of carry things out. But that's assuming that Chaos plays nice. Demerine does have a substantial advantage, but if Chaos, you know, leads off with a double nuclear or something similar, you know, Bismarck still has a chance to catch up. All he's got to do is finish off Kraken, and he's to TOFR as well. Yeah, Brack is, for those of you who are unfamiliar, that is what's later known as Break in Final Fantasies that a lot more than 4 characters to spell out spell names.
Getting some tempers off and buffing up that Vorpal sword. One hit to the red mage, he's going to be pretty happy with that. Yeah, I imagine that the red mages are going to be doing nothing but tempering. 2 defense sword and 2 white shirts off.
Yeah, so at this point, Demerine's knight is more or less immune to physical damage. Because essentially 2 Invis 2s is equivalent to 1 ruse. And 3 ruses is enough to make it so only a crit's going to hit you.
Lightning 3. Everybody lives through the Lightning 3.
That level 1 Cure 4 is going to be doing work on this fight, I imagine. We haven't really seen anything nasty out of Chaos yet, so this bodes well.
fighter hit for about 260 on his swing.
Did you see if that was a crit or not?
I did not. Bismarck here in the... Oh, GG.
GG.
We've got an official SRL time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 32 seconds.
That is really solid considering
That
the
is
seed we
very
saw.
fast.
Like, I think that beats Demarine's time in the jet seed she rolled in the first round.
Yeah, I remember that. The one against Tristal, that was very fast.
I'm sure she's going to take a breather here. Got a little bit of English on Bismarck's audio that I'm sure will be dealt with here in a sec. And it looks like he is going to keep going. Always good to see. But yeah, if I had to take a guess, I assume that all the nasty stuff was on that Tiamat 2 that Demerine just kind of split the Gordian knot on.
This race came down to... it was pretty well ran by both competitors. That ice cave was nasty to get through. But, you know, the early Earth cave play paid off.
Oh, absolutely. That is the difference maker right there, because if Demerine had opted to do what Bismarck did and go for the high-density locations, they'd probably be neck and neck right now.
Looks like we're going to get Demerine in here in a second.
Alright, I'll go ahead and pull her in. Oh, there she goes.
Hey,
GG,
GG
Demerine.
Demerine.
Wow.
Thoughts on that seed?
Bridge seed number two time that I had to go and chase up a key item, and I made the guess of my life. I thought I was about 10 minutes behind after just messing up Ice Cave over and over again, and should have gone into Volcano first because, you know, ribbon, armor, weapons, gear, toys, whatever. Like, it was all there for me that I needed to get through ice and levels and the whole nine. And then I just catching, like, I'm like, I never check these chests. I never go into Earth. And I'm like, all right, let's do this thing.
Oh, so you made the play for Earth because you felt like you were behind.
Yeah, I felt like I was way down, and I was hoping to find the bottle in some place. I didn't think that that Bismarck would go, because I know Bismarck's a really good runner. And with the way that the items panned out, would definitely have run north side first, would have run sky and water potentially. Well, not water because we were looking for the bottle, but would have definitely like full cleared sky, and that's long. We didn't have warp, so he was probably up there for a ton of time. And once I had the bottle, I was like, bottle, vorpal, go mode. It was good.
So, about the time you hit Gaia was when you realized you hadn't actually been to the west side of Elfland, I assume.
Yeah, I also thought that cost me a ton of time because that was like Nuke and Life 2, and I'm like, I skipped the checks, I had no money, so I just saved time, but I was going to go back when I had money, and boy, did I have money.
Yeah, now, just so you know, you actually were the first one out of Ice Cave.
You were. I was going to say that also. You got the floater first.
Wow, unreal. I definitely thought I was behind on that seed. I didn't think I was going to crack 130, to be honest with you, and I did. Without the ice capage there, that's a 120. Like, that's really good.
Yeah, I was saying, that beat your time in your match against Tristal in the first round, didn't it?
Yeah, no, that's actually right at my average of my first two runs. My average race time has been 132.
Nice.
Well, we got Bismarck.
Have you muted your audio on your end?
Me?
Yeah, apparently we are getting... Chad is saying that we're hearing... Well, someone is hearing everyone twice. I don't know what the deal is there, but... I'm
on a different microphone than usual because I'm on vacation right now, so give me a second. It's probably a microphone issue on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, in the meantime, Bismarck just hustling on through Temple of Fiends Revisited. Okay, yeah, it looks like it was on the on other folks' end. So,
Still here. Stop. Excuse me.
You're a lot quieter now, but I think everything's fine. Like, you can swap back to whatever you were doing before. It was on someone else's side.
Okay, excellent. Here we go.
Alright, cool. Yeah, much better. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else, we saw during that scene. But yeah, no, that ice cave ruined both of you. Bismarck had a hard time even though he found a second ribbon in the, armory floor.
Oof.
Yeah, there was, Bismarck actually had a decent amount of levels. He did a bit of a pop grind before the ice cave, and he still had a really hard time with it. So yeah, you did come out with the floater first, and then, you know, making that earth cave move right away. Just, you know, those were a really good move. It's kind of funny that you made that move thinking you were behind, but you were ahead, and then it put you more ahead.
No, it was a guess. Like, I think when it comes down to it, like, the last seed we had last week, where it was a bridge seed, like, the rod was in a free chest. I'm like, all right, well, that, you know, we're back to normal. And this time it was like, no, this is not normal. This is not good. This is very bad. I was looking at Marsh Cave, going, Marsh Cave looks really good right now.
Yeah, you did actually, though, correctly predict Bismarck's play. He pretty much went waterfall to figure out which item he was looking for, I think, and then he just dove right into Mirage and Sky.
It's a really good play. It'll get you levels to do everything else, and there's like a ton of chests there. It just takes a lot of time. If it was up there, then obviously there's no chance I'm winning this race. I'm just not that good at executing Sky, and I'm not that good at finding the chests up there, so yeah.
I'd say, considering the hand you were dealt, you did a pretty good job on execution. I think you're selling yourself a little bit short.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
We got Bismarck here on carry 2, one-shotting his white mage.
It doesn't matter. Everyone's got life too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, you know, everyone appreciated bracking Tiamat2.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm actually on vacation. I'm actually at my girlfriend's apartment right now on vacation, and she's like, you know, awesome and letting me run this race, which was cool. And she heard me just start screaming when I hit that, like, just losing my mind. And she's like, I don't know if I was happy or not until it was all over. And like, it was real good.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you realize that this means that Tiamat2 had, like, double nuclear plus nuke, right?
Who cares?
Well, Bismarck might hear in about 2 minutes. But,
Tiamat's got nothing, clearly. That's what it is.
That seems just to be how it goes. If one runner manages the, you know, just insta-kill on one of the fiends, that fiend has everything terrible and horrible forever, and their opponent is going to see it.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Yeah, we're about to see, though, how Bismarck's going to weather this, Kraken fight, because your fighter did an excellent job of just eating punches to the face.
Yeah, Dragon Armor and, like, defense and White Shirt will do that for you. Like, just having all of the tools necessary to try and evade as much of the damage as you can. I just didn't want the fighter in front for the last... Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, neat! Kraken 2 had nuke!
Who knew? Well, not me.
We didn't either until now! Okay, then!
Alright, well, yeah. Oh, well, that sucks.
That low-level Cure 4, though.
Yeah, lifesaver that it is.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing some more white shirts. some more fingers crossed that that's all that Kraken 2 has ready to unload.
Looks like Bismarck has the second ribbon on the white mage because didn't die to that ice too. Kind of shocked I didn't see. Is Break is in Bismarck's spell list, right? He definitely bought Break to start.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to go for it or not. So, kind of while he's muddling through this, substantially harder than what you faced Kraken 2. Are you hoping that you'll get to continue your world tour of all the old hands next week?
I mean, the way that it's gone so far, it hasn't gone that badly. I guess, sure, why not? Just give me another veteran here. Give me someone good. I'm just gonna run my races and do what I can do here.
You heard it here first, folks. Demerine versus Wilkliosis.
It's possible. They're both 2-1 now.
Right. Also, I'd like to say that I'm not officially on Team Vorpal, but Vorpal plus Temper is still pretty good.
Oh yeah, like, you go to war with the, army you have.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that was what I had, and again, just crits on chaos, crits all day.
Yeah, and even with Bismarck full clearing Sky, you still didn't find the Master of the Adamant.
Yeah, this is a Will Joker vindication seed, because I guarantee probably everything y'all wanted was at Mermaids.
Or in Marsh Cave, which was looking really good for a little while in there.
If it's in Marsh Cave, it doesn't count. Now, I will admit, I was personally pulling for key-locked bottle in the middle room of Marsh Cave.
I was not pulling for that. I was just pulling for, key-locked. I was just pulling for key-locked bottle, period. Just put it in Corneria, give me the bottle, so I don't have to think about it.
Is that Poison Touch Tiamat, or did
Yeah, we'll get to see what Tiamat 2 has here.
Yeah, Poison Touch.
Oof. Yeah, but we're seeing a pile of tempers being thrown onto that knight.
I see the chat is trying to convert me to Team Vorpal here.
Looks like he's gone with the defense sword on his fighter and the Vorpal on one of his red wizards.
It's a solid backup plan, certainly.
I believe in their native tongue they refer to themselves as Team Game Changer.
THC doesn't look very scary, though, so far. A couple of million.
Yeah, just really beefy. Good bit of evade, good bit of absorb. Outside of that poison touch, I don't think we've really seen anything too bad, and we're not going to. So, Bismarck now heading to Chaos.
Alright, Bismarck, you got this. One more time.
Yeah. With those two ribbons in hand, having the Pro Ring Aegis Dragon combo. Excuse me, I don't think we saw anything from Chaos that will bode poorly.
And there's the unrunnable sorcerers after Tiamat, because encounter tables.
Right.
Thankfully, they weren't dangerous either.
So we talked about this a little bit during the race, and I'm kind of curious what your opinion is. With the encounter frequency shuffle on, with Ice Cave, was there a temptation to maybe dig around in the encounter table a bit to see if you could find a space that didn't really have those wraiths?
Oh, I was doing that actually. I never hard powered down. I was always soft resetting, trying to shuffle the table. So I actually did that all the way down, and all we found were wraiths because it's Ice Cave.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. That is something I think is something we're going to see the deeper we go into this tournament. Is people playing with the encounter frequency tables as well. When you get stuff like, the Wraiths of Murder. You missed out on the Peds, though, I think. I don't think I saw you get any Ped fights.
Chaos is nuclear. Yeah, I did not get in any Pede fights at all. I usually look for them too, but I was just like so bent, and I just wanted to just get moving.
Pete's had sleep, stun. Actually, no, I think they had trance, actually. And a couple other things, too.
I forget what they had. It was
damage poison. They had damage poison. I think they had a touch attack, but I don't remember.
That's scary because that had to be the Medusa script because Karib's also had damage poison. Unless there's two instances of it out there, that is the scary stuff.
I don't think that they were the death touch enemy. The Pedes were, but yeah, it was still definitely one of those situations where it's just like
damage poison from chaos.
Like Bismark found them on the right side of the armory floor, so they were fairly deep in that floor's encounter table.
Yeah.
But it was still one of those things where like he spent a solid minute and a half just getting out of that Pede fight.
Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't find them then. Actually, it's weird. I didn't find the death touch enemy either. Like, didn't find any of this like weird stuff. I was like waiting for lobsters to have death touch again.
Yeah, and Chaos just rolling out the nuclears. Good grief. But Bismarck's leveling is coming into play here. His party is still all standing, in spite of Chaos's best efforts.
And there he goes.
Down goes Chaos.
Official SRL time, hour 48 minutes, 56 seconds.
Yeah, get you those GGs in tat for Bismarck. And he's already in the waiting room, so I'm going to go ahead and pull him on in. Or he's just going to join us. That works too. GG, Bismarck.
Hey, what's up?
Not too terribly much. How about that ice cave?
The ice cave can go to hell.
If it makes you feel any better, both you and Demerine went ice cave first, 2 or 3 dips into ice cave, noping out of ice cave, going and hitting other locations up, then going back into ice cave and still having to pick a few fist fights to get through it.
Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. Can't really think of any other way to describe it.
Well, you can think of a few, but Randomania wouldn't appreciate them.
How about Demerine going to Earth first? That's not a play I would have made.
Oh, you heard about that?
Yeah, she told me in chat. I asked her, well, as soon as she hit done, my very first question was, how early did you go to Earth? Because that's why I went to Sky. As soon as I saw the bridge on King or Sarah, I don't remember which, I knew that there was going to be an incentive item, or a gun mode item that was going to be in a chest somewhere. So I started playing the odds. Went to the armory, wasn't there. Did some easy crown chests, wasn't there. Said, okay, well, let's start going to the highest probability. It obviously can't be water or it obviously couldn't be water once I found the loot. So I tried Sky first and did the 50 chests there. Ordeal, or I guess I did Sky before I did Ordeals, and then I did Ordeals, found the loot. Went to Volcano. Didn't check the TOF chests. I almost went to Marsh too. So that's just bad choices. I played well, I thought, other than Ice Cave. I just made some bad choices.
I'm amused, Bismarck, because Marsh Cave was looking really good for a couple of minutes there. Like, really good.
Yeah.
But
so when did you go to Earth? I mean, did you just go like right after you got the floater?
I routed upside down from you, but I did not go there first. I finished the crown quest, did the crown chest, didn't get the bottle. Though at that point I didn't know I was on bottle because I didn't find the tail in Elfland because I never checked Elfland left side. So I actually didn't know I was on a bottle hunt yet. But I went crown chest, Cardia, Ordeals, Waterfall, back down to finish fire, then Earth.
Yeah. So it goes.
It was a crazy shot in the dark, yes. And as soon as I got it, I felt like I was at least in much less behind than I felt the entire race.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you felt really good when you found the bottle on the Earth. As soon as I saw it in Earth, I was like, oh, I've lost.
I hit exit so hard, like, as soon as I opened it, it was like, where is my exit spell? I need out of this. I need to save my game now.
Yeah, I mean, the bright side is if something terrible had happened in Earth Cave, it was right there. Like, it wasn't like you had to dig down to the 4th level to pick it back up.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I'm 1 and 2 now. That sucks, but what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, you still have a chance to. You still have a chance at the play-in race.
Yeah, if I win 3 in a row.
2 in a row. Yeah.
3.
Well, you're 1 and 2. Oh yeah, I guess you gotta win 2 and then do good in the play-in race.
My understanding is there's 6 Swiss rounds and then a play-in race. The 6-0 and 5-1 runners automatically get a spot because there's 2 6-0. There's 7-5-1, and then there's 14-4-2. So the 14-4-2 have to play off for the 7 spots.
It's one of those things. I know there was some confusion. I'm sure someone in chat can clarify. Hopefully, worst case scenario, you're still in this
Right now.
And DD Gaming is making the point that he's 0-2 because of you.
Yeah, well, I don't feel bad.
Yeah. And Will Cleosis is clarifying, I think it is 5 rounds. So, you still have a path.
We'll see.
Yeah. But, it's one of those things. If Ice Cave had not been quite so harsh, and Demerine had made the same call you did, this would have been a neck-and-neck race. So it's one of those things you don't have anything to complain about. Okay, you have Ice Cave to complain about, but it's one of those things you still have a really good shot of making it into the bracket stage, I think.
We'll see. I mean, I won't know until I get there. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, y'all put on an admirable performance. I do not regret, popping up for this one. And I believe that's going to do it until about 3 o'clock here on the Randomania Network.
Right now on Speed Gaming 4, we have a race.
Yeah, they're about an hour in, and that's what Quicklit versus
Edge Figaro.
Ooh, that should be a good one. I'm probably going to flip over there once we're done chatting. And yeah, that's going to be good. I'm also looking forward to telling Falconic that I'm not, in fact, cursed. But yeah, shout-outs again to the Randomania family for, supporting our tournament and showing things off. We will be back on here tonight at 7 p.m., as you can see, for a little double-header setup. Edgeworth and White Mage is a guy, and Split Punched and Drumboardist. Those should be 2 good, really, really good matches. And then a 9:30 matchup between Fuchsia Fantasy and Sforzando, and that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Oh, yeah. So all of those are going to be excellent. And, make sure to give our runners a follow. Both of them put on a fantastic show. They both are very entertaining to watch and practice. Make sure to follow our tracker, the Hangry Canuck. He did a wonderful job today. And my co-commentator, Tyrannix, stepped up to make sure I didn't have to run solo.
Yeah, it was a fun race, everybody. Have a good day.
Yeah. Any final thoughts from anyone else? Or should we just go ahead and call it a night? Morning. Something.
Good job, Demerine. Good luck next round.
Thanks, Bismark. You too. You can bounce back. But I'm gonna go find food.
Alrighty. Well, we'll catch you on the flip side, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.